Hello, scholars. What I would like to discuss in today's lesson are those pesky logic or sequence questions that show up 3 to 4 times on each English passage. Remember, there are 5 passages for each English section. And out of the 75 total questions, these types of questions show up between 20 to 25% of the time and tend to give so many students problems.
Can you show me what you mean by English logic or sequence questions?
Sure. Generally speaking, there are 2 major kinds of logic questions. One that tends to focus on just a particular paragraph at hand, and another that focuses more on the entire passage. In order to better understand these questions, let's run through a few popular question wordings you'll likely encounter, such as, the author is considering adding the following true statement. In which order should the following sentences appear? For the sake of logic and coherence of this paragraph, the writer is considering deleting. Given that all is true, which sentence best introduces the passage and clarifies the author's purpose? The author is considering deleting the following sentence from the paragraph. Should the author delete the sentence? Yes, no, because, for whatever reason. And if the author were to make this deletion, the essay would primarily lose. For today's lesson, I want to focus on a few examples that specifically deal with logical placement for now. For these types of questions, they almost sound like an afterthought. Like a news editor for a paper who finished typing up an article to be released for the morning edition, when all of a sudden he or she realizes that they left something out and has to find the perfect place within the passage to insert it. These questions will clearly be denoted by a box symbol in the very end of the paragraph we need to work off of, like this one. The question itself will always provide some variation of the same game. Upon reviewing some paragraph and realizing some information has been left out, the writer composes the following sentence. Below, a statement will be provided, and then 4 choices beginning with either after or before a particular sentence will be listed out for you. Please keep in mind that the sentences will always be denoted by a series of brackets within the specified paragraph. In this situation, the top bracket here denotes paragraph 5. Other times, the question may not be labeled with a before or after, followed with a sentence number. Sometimes the question may be formatted with a yes, not, followed with an after or before, and in the end, a sentence number. Let's start by taking a look at our previous example. Question number 14 here. The first thing we need to do in this situation would be to take reference of the entire paragraph 5 here. What we need to do first is see what kind of sentence we're dealing with. So let's read. She activates the voice command at a time she knows her nieces and nephews will be visiting. Clearly, this statement is in anticipation of the kids arriving. Sentence 2 already has the aunt explaining to the unsuspecting children that she has a magical wand. Hence, somewhere between sentence 1 and 2 creates the most logical order. Shortly after the introduction of the playing tricks, but before the actual explanation to the kids. Therefore, it makes more sense to select G after sentence 1 as the answer in this situation. As you can see, these questions are very simple to deal with and require just a little common sense and sentence placement. Over the course of the next lesson, I will familiarize yourself with logical placement and go over a few more variations of these questions in order to better familiarize ourselves.